So we talk a lot about growth and how to become more wise. We talk a lot about the difference between the wise and the foolish. And today I want to discuss how we grow in wisdom, the actual two ways that we grow, and then what that looks like for a wise person and a mocker, a foolish person. How do we grow in wisdom? Like actually truly grow. What are the things that cause us to grow? Well, the first one is life and the second one is our friends. Let's start with life. Life itself, you maybe even call it wisdom itself, but life itself rebukes us as we progress along the path. It corrects us. It kind of, gives you a little bump or sometimes a pretty big bump back onto the path whenever you're veering off. Life corrects you through your mistakes. It's the first way that we grow, actually, in wisdom. And those kinds of corrections are usually not fun. It doesn't feel like it's happening out of love. It feels like a punishment. And the reason is because we've made some kind of mistake. We've veered away from truth. And so because we're doing that, life itself pushes you back into where you should be, sometimes in a very uncomfortable way. Okay, friends. Your friends are a very powerful, another corrective tool, of course, because we're talking about how we grow in wisdom. But the way that friends do it is fascinating. They do it sometimes through correction, but through loving, embracing, and encouraging you. Your friends more so pull you back onto the path. By being surrounded with good people, with a good community, when you veer off the path, before you get bumped by life, you have those people that can tug on your life raft and pull you back into the path with love. And that may also be uncomfortable, but those can feel good. And so it's important to surround yourself with the right kind of people. We've talked about that in previous days. And so the two ways we learn, just to briefly recap, are life itself will bump you. The things that you do whenever they're straying away from truth will actually push you back towards it in a way that kind of feels like punishment sometimes. And then the people you surround yourself with, if they are also pursuing truth, they will pull you in that direction. And so I don't want to confuse this with a push and pull analogy where we think of it as a give and a take. No. It's wisdom either pushing you towards itself or pulling you towards itself. And so it's not a push or a pull where they're acting against each other, but rather it's a push and a pull working in the same direction. So what do these look like for a wise person and for a mocker or a foolish person? Well, whenever you rebuke somebody who is a mocker, a foolish person, you're going to get insulted. What that person is best at that time in their life is being harsh, critical, and straight up just demeaning. And so whenever you tell them, hey, you're not doing something that is on the path to wisdom, they will respond in a pretty terrible way. They'll likely be mean, and they will abuse you in that way. Whereas a wise person, on the other hand, when you rebuke a wise person, sure, it's hard, it's uncomfortable, but that person knows that if they're being rebuked and that rebuke is coming from truth, they know. And so they're able to take that. And maybe in the moment, it's not perfection. We are all flawed. But that wise person is able to take that rebuke that you give them, that, hey, correction to the path, and distill it. Take that thought captive in their mind and let it go down to their heart, and they grow quickly. And so we see how these people respond, and it emphasizes, all the more importantly, to grow in wisdom as soon as possible. We are all somewhere on the spectrum. There is probably not a perfectly wise person out there. That was Jesus. And there's probably not a person out there that is entirely a mocker. Sometimes it seems like there are. But most people have at least one genuine bone in their body. And so It's unlikely that anybody is perfectly wise or perfectly a mocker. We're somewhere on this scale, and we all want to be moving closer to wisdom, because whenever we're moving closer to wisdom, the feedback we get pushes us faster in that direction. And likewise, the other way. Whatever direction you're moving on this scale, feedback will tend to push you faster in that direction. It's a positive feedback loop. So if you are working to become more wise and you get feedback on that, you get rebuked about something you've done, it will push you to be more wise. And if you are allowing yourself to slip and slide and become more of a mocker, and you get rebuked for that, the tendency will be to push you further towards mockery. So be careful and choose the direction that you are moving with wisdom. And so the question really today, the tension, is difficult. So I'm just going to leave you with this. When was the last time you let someone or something change your mind in a meaningful way for the better? I'll be praying for you. See you tomorrow.